Afternoon. Afternoon, everybody. Hope you're well. Ashutosh, how you doing? If you're in the room, come and say hello. Gonna have to do a quicker stream today because I got a meeting at 12:30, so we'll do about a 20-minute one. Anyway, I don't have many on my list today to talk about anyway, but Alan, how you doing? Ezio, Ina, is it Ina or Ina? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I appreciate that as always. So a problem that I had, by the way, guys, I played the Scotland game on my intro on Monday, right? And I got smacked with a copyright claim. So the problem with this is, you can see here, copyright claim, which obviously for me is like, whoops, I didn't really know that. Anyway, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. But the problem is the live chat replay is gone. So I haven't gotten some of your entries in. I've got a few of your entries in, but I haven't got all your entries in for the Monday competition. So this is who I've got, and I'm relying on you guys to be honest. This is who I've got so far. If you're not on this list and you did enter and you remember what your price was, if you can put it into the chat now, there won't be any copyright on this one, so I'll be able to see the live chat replay. But yeah, my apologies, guys. I didn't know that would happen. That's the first time it's happened to me. So if you're not there, I've got a few of you, but get your DXY entries in if you don't see your name. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about the trades. I'm going to go into these two that I'm in because they're at quite important areas for potentially moving my stop. So this pound Aussie, we hit TP1 roughly down here. I kept that one in because I was out of the market at this point in time. I think it was late night or sleep or during the Asian session while I was asleep when TP1 was hit. So took TP1 there, and now we are waiting for a swing. I didn't particularly like this price action moving up. It looked a lot worse than, let's say, this here. You want your correctives to be looking exactly like this. However, this last 4 hour has been good. So what I'm looking for now, if you are in in this trade, if you're part of RTFX or A1, I'll need another 4 hour candle here. So if we create our anchor with this price action here on that 20 period, which coincides with that 50% fib area on that Fibonacci from this move here. If we take the move from here to the bottom, you can see it smashed that 50 basically to a T. Now that doesn't mean it's going to continue down. You're not guaranteed with this. Obviously, it could just be a reaction because of this price action is relatively bullish. But another 4 hour here, I will move my stop to break even. So we bank 1% on a 2% risk, and hopefully this continues to run to the downside. So this is good. I like this 4 hour. Again, just giving the trade room to breathe. This is where the patience comes in. Just giving it a bit of room to breathe. And if we do continue to the downside, this is great. Can keep capturing, hopefully, more and more profits as we go. So pound Aussie, you can't lose any money on it for me personally so far. But if we get a decent 4 hour, I'll move my stop to break even. Total entry was 95. Okay, appreciate that, mate. I'll put you in. I got stopped out of GA this morning after hitting TP1. So did you move your stop a little bit to capture some more profit, Ash? Did you possibly move it down here or something? I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, yeah, I don't mind that if you're capturing more profit, if that's how you like to do your trade management. But for me, I'm just waiting for that swing on the 4 hour because that's where the trade was placed of. Ian, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Okay, Swiss yen. Swiss yen is another one that's looking pretty nice. I mean, definitely looks nice so far. In order for me to be able to move my stop to this area, so right now we are still at break even. If we get a break, which we're flirting to do right now, a break and close above this area, I'll move my stop immediately to here. So possibly in the next 4 hour, if this does break and close above, then I'll move my stop in Swiss yen, and hopefully this continues again, similar to GA. They might not run, but I'm just giving it room to move to potentially another leg upwards, in which case this could be a really nice trade. You know, I've got more hope in this one than GA, to be honest with you, but that's what I'm looking for on CJ. I was up on that trade, but I tend to keep my stops too close. Yes, I think you did that with Swiss yen Ezio as well, right? But yeah, you learn, you live and learn, you live and learn. Once you get more experience, you kind of have an idea of when to move your stops, I would say. So, for example, now you always remember the worst ones, right? When you squeeze it too tightly, you get stopped out. Let's say you squeezed it here, you get stopped out here, and it ends up moving and moving quite nicely to the upside. You remember that. So you're like, write it down in your diary, write it down in your notes. Don't squeeze anything, because you remember from these things, and it's good that you're learning. Yeah, I moved it down, but that 4-hour candle triggered it, but I captured nice profit, so it's all good. Okay, good. Now, the last one I entered in yesterday, was this DXY, which ironically was the nicest setup. This, for me, was a really nice setup. Cut with handle, as we talked about on Monday, push through, nice reload back to that, roughly around that 20, and I took that breakout from there. So this was the nicest setup. We were going with that trend, and it looked all good. However, I'm not sure whether I buy this drop down. I'm still in it. My stop's here. So the premise of the trade isn't wrong until my stop's been hit. We could getting a reaction around this 20 period. I just like it long. You know, a decent 30-minute close here. Possibly we could end up getting stopped out before it moves to the upside. The daily ABC is kind of off because we have broken these highs. So, yeah, I'll be honest with you, out of the 3 trades that I took there, GA, Swiss yen, and this one, I was most confident in the dollar. It just shows you how it works sometimes. But I'm still in. I'm not stopped out. Path of least resistance is to the upside, and whatever happened now will happen. I'm not going to, certainly with a couple of % banked, I'm not going to take this out and then potentially watch it move back up to the upside when I was right all along. So, yeah, dollar I'm in, and that'll just do what it needs to do. EURUSD sell gone against me, but kept a wider stop loss this time. Looks like trend. I was looking at EURUSD. So I'm looking at this on EURUSD. Not quite ready yet, but potentially cut with handle here for movement to the downside. So I'm not sure if you possibly sold it here, Ezio, and it's come back up. But it still looks bearish. You know, the trend hasn't changed. You know, same with the dollar. The trend hasn't changed. We get these smaller volatilities within each day, but the path of least resistance is to the downside. And, you know, if you know about the cut with handle, you could have possibly stopped that or possibly been a bit wary at this area, because we know we like things like this. So, again, Ezio, just living and learning, right? Living and learning. And you'll get better every week. That's the main thing. But don't get... What the main thing to do is don't lose all your money doing it. Don't place revenge bets. Don't place over-risk trades. Just go reduce your risk. For me, my personal ethos, as you know, is not to trade off your own money. What you're trying to do is learn so that you're in the position to potentially get a funded account and trade off somebody else's money. That's... yeah, basically, don't go losing all your money until that happens. Like I did, essentially. Okay, watch this today. Is German 30 is pushed through. The setup here was quite nice. Head and shoulders on this 30-minute. Decent movement to the upside. I think, unfortunately, my wife... yeah, I know. I think this is gone. You know, it was looking nice in the morning. I looked at it roughly around here. Obviously, I can't take breaks on these lower time frames. But it was on my watch list, but I think it's probably gone, unfortunately. But let's see. Maybe on the hourly for a retest back to that area to move to the upside. But yeah, I think it's probably gone. UK 100. UK 100 is, again, bigger V reversal. Nice larger ABC corrective. This has to move now when I was looking at it in the morning. And it is slightly moving. So we need this to turn into possibly a bigger head and shoulders, breakout, retest to move to the upside. This is a bit better than the German 30 because we're going with this trend. You can see on the daily here, nice V reversal, decent move back to the 20, good bullish day here on a bit of volume, big rejection to the downside, and now we're kind of pushing on. So daily context for that UK 100 is good, but we need that breakout. We need that probably now another little reload, creating that head and shoulders on the smaller time frames, breakout retest to move to the upside on UK 100. 4 hour doesn't look too bad. It's not a breakout trade. It's a little bit messy up at this area. So although it looks okay, it's not quite there for me, to be honest with you. Pound Swiss. Pound Swiss was something that I was looking at. Now, this is interesting. The only thing, what I was saying this morning on my stream is we've got our head and shoulders here. But I need a bit more on this area. I know we have some wicks here, okay? So it is a little bit messy. However, the context is there. We've got moving averages close by. What I'm thinking with this pound Swiss is I want, what time is it now? I want another preferably two bars here to get our 50% digestion for taking that breakout to the upside. So if it's 1 o'clock now, it will be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. my time that I'll come back and look at pound Swiss because it could be a trade I take today. If we break above, so if we put our order in, it'll be above these moving averages on the daily, above the 20, above the 200. I know it does look slightly bearish, okay? So it is counter trend, which is why if I'm taking a breakout counter trend, I want it to kind of be really perfect. And I have that inkling that I want to take it, but I know it needs a little bit more. So pound Swiss potential movement to the upside. I don't mind it. I don't mind that at all. Again, like I said, I just want a little bit more to digest this move to the upside. If you put in a breakout there, I wouldn't mind it. I think for me, just another 2 bars. What do you think of Euro Pound? Okay, I'll go through Euro Pound. I've only got 3 more on my list, Lam. First one is USD Czech. USD Czech. Here looks quite good. I like this. Again, this is one that I really like. Cut with handle. Nice corrective. Push through. Tag that area again. Hopefully another little reload to move to the upside. So USD Czech I like. It looks to be on the daily. We're getting price acceptance above this level. Decent outside bullish engulfer yesterday. This is nice. Yeah, I like this. So we can kind of see, hopefully you guys can see it a bit more clearly. This is pretty clean setup here. Push on, another reload to go to the upside on USD Czech. Like that. You're in pound Swiss long. Yeah, I like yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is that daily, you know. For example, looking at that USD Czech is different from looking at pound Swiss, right? Because we can see, oh, that's USD Swiss, sorry, excuse me. USD Czech. You can just see the difference in the daily. This looks a lot, you know, your context is a lot better. Whereas we go to that pound Swiss, it's just not. There's that argument, that kind of inkling there that, okay, this is a great day yesterday. We're seeing some bullish candles in here within this, what you could call a corrective to move to the downside. However, maybe the easiest way to say it is the most prominent candle there is green, right? And not only green candles, but decent green candles, decent bullish green candles. So we have to accept that we have got wicks to the downside. There's mixed messages there on the daily, but I think this is nice. So yeah, I agree with your bias. I think if you get a break above, or for me, if I get 2 more bars of accumulation there, I think it's not a bad trade to the upside. As long as it breaks. It needs to break first for me. And finally, USD NOK. USD NOK is another one that I really like on this 4 hour, but it's actually selling the USD. So 4 hour chart, looking at this pattern here, you can see the cut with handle. Need another one in here, potentially taking that to the downside. And again, the confluence of this with the higher time frames is good. Get our bigger V reversal. We're digesting that now, and we're underneath that 200. 20 period is close by. You know, from this impulse to the upside, it looks less like a pullback, does it? Well, it's not a pullback anymore. And the fact that we've just broken and closed underneath that 200, again, is a potential pair that could move. That's what I personally like to see. It's pairs that are looking like it could move quite some time. So within the breakout, we need the cut with handle within a cut with handle. However, if it does break, we can look for a breakout retest to the downside. But again, I like that. Oh, sorry, and USD SEK. So USD SEK I'm looking at potentially to the upside on this daily chart, which again is really nice. So we've got that USD knock downside, but we've got USD SEK to the upside. But we got our cut with handle here. We're getting that volatility contraction here. Again, need a little bit more. Probably looking at roughly down that 50% here. So it'll be another week or so before it sets up for me. Anyway, again, another trade I really like. Another trade I really like. Euro pound. Okay, I'll do euro pound, and then unfortunately I've got to head off, guys. Got a meeting today, but I'll do a proper longer stream on Friday. Euro pound, I had this actually identified. You asked me about lamb. You're getting something decent there. Why is that not on my list? I think the reason why this wasn't on my list, lamb, was because of the extent of the move. Okay, I don't particularly like the idea of selling it down here. So although we're getting a decent pattern, right? There's no doubt that's a decent structure there for movement to the downside. I just would be a bit wary of selling it here. Now, that's not saying I'm going to be right. That's not saying that this can move to the downside. But maybe if you do that 100 times, would you come out winning that trade, even if it does set up? How many times would you win it? I mean, I'm not too sure. You've got a decent 4-hour confluence there as well. So, yeah, I mean, yes, the bias is to the downside. Can it move to the downside? Yes, I would rather still be selling it than buying it. I just wary that getting into the move potentially when it could have a slight pullback. That's the only worry I would have about euro pound. But yeah, I like it to the downside. I mean, I do like it to the downside. So yeah. Have I missed anything? Oh, the SPX. Okay, I'll do the SPX quickly and then I'll be off. So SPX has been difficult, man. Difficult to predict this SPX recently. I did a video yesterday on my outlook. It did look quite bearish at this point in time. I did say in the morning stream that I might not even trust this to move to the downside, even though technically it looked bearish. So I'm thinking I'm going to stay with this level. I mean, how can you predict this price action? It's just a mess. So I would say wait for this area for your confirmation. This could turn into an ABC, move to the downside. Or I wouldn't discount that this pushing back up to the upside. So I'm on the fence with the SPX, to be honest with you. I'll just say it's a mess. I'll say it's a mess, and I'll continue on with my day. All right, guys, sorry for the quick stream. I'll be off. If you like it, that would be great. And I'll see you all back on Friday. Cheers, guys. Trade safe. Peace.